In the last video, we created this person class, tagged it with some attributes, instantiated an instance of it, and then used the built-in data contract serializer to serialize one of these. I'm actually going to replace the data contract serializer with my own serializer. Definitely not nearly as significant as this, but I think you'll get the idea of, hey, we can use attributes to manage the serialization on one of these things. So I'm actually going to comment this line out, and right here, zoom in a little bit, I'm going to say class me serializer, there you go. Hopefully I can spell. Give it a constructor, and like the data contract serializer, it needs to take the type that we're going to serialize so that we can do the reflection on it. So type, target type, and I'll say this dot target type gets target type, and this will need to be a data member. I hit Control Enter there to insert a line like that. And then what do we need? We need a write object. It's going to take a stream and a graph. So let's do write object. Do public void write object. We'll take a stream, and object, I believe they called it graph, like so. And then in here is where the magic needs to happen. Again, I'm not going to do anything significantly awesome. Pretty basic. I just need to find all the properties that have data member on it, and we should probably make an assertion that the type has a data contract on it. And so if we could do that right here. We could say if not target type dot is defined type of, what is it, data contract, inherit will be false, I believe. That's the built-in. Oh, it's data contract attribute. Remember when we say data contract, the compiler just throws attribute on the end for us. Anyway, type of data contract. If that's not defined on the target type, then throw a new exception, no soup for you. Okay. And you may think, that's kind of dumb. I'll throw as. Why would they pass a type in that doesn't have this on? Well, sometimes they would. And it's a requirement in SOA, WCF land, that, hey, you need to be explicit about what you're doing. If you want me to serialize it, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll assume that you don't want me to, because there might be data in here, maybe connection strings to your database that you don't want to send over naked on the server, and people intercept that and do bad things with your database. Okay, write object. We need to find all the properties that have data member on them. I'll just remember we can comment one out. Let's comment it out for now, and it should be good. And of course I could do this with for loops and make lists, but I'm leaning towards link. You could go watch the link videos if you want to. Let's do I have link in here? Nope. Using system.link. I want to find all the methods that have data member on it. So let's say enumerable. Usually I would use var for this, but I think it's better for, I'd usually use var, but I think it's better for the educational purposes to see exactly what's coming out of here. Enumerable method info, or not method info, sorry, property info. I haven't really shown you this class before, but it's pretty straightforward. It gives us all the information about properties, and if you look at these methods in here, you can say, oh, I can get the value of the property. I can get the other methods that the method info things. And I'm actually going to do a video where we look into these method infos a little bit more, and property infos, and then there's event infos, and all these other infos. But just roll with it. It's the info about a property. And we'll say serializable properties gets, oh, do I need a control dot on this? Yes, using system dot collections dot generic graph target type dot give me all the properties where p dot is defined. Remember, I did a video earlier on is defined versus get custom attributes. And I just want to know if these are defined. I could certainly get these and respect the arguments to the attributes. Like I said, name was weight before. on the previous video, but we're not going to be that significant in here. You could certainly do that as an exercise. So give me all the properties where it's defined type of data member attribute, and what's the red squiggly here? Error delegate bool does not take. Did I leave a parenthesis off? I did. Parenthesis. Let's build this, see what error messages we get. The name serializer does not exist. Oh yeah, well of course it doesn't. I didn't define it. Control Shift B again, sorry. No overload for is defined. Oh, it's that stinking inherit. Ah! So frustrating. And now serializer doesn't exist. We'll deal with that error a little bit later. Let's see. Okay, we have all the serializable properties now. So I think what we'll say is var writer gets new stream writer stream, and this allows me to just easily write text out to this stream. So now I can say writer.write, and this is going to be poor man's XML at its very best. I would not naturally do XML like this. I'd use using system link.xml. I'd probably use that or something else, but this is an educational video, so let's roll with it. I'm going to do some XML by hand. Target type dot, give me your name, add the closing angle bracket there, and I'm actually going to say write line. And then now we need to go through all these properties and write out their values. So let's for each property info, prop info in serializable properties, writer dot write angle bracket plus prop info. Hey property, what's the name of the property plus closing angle bracket plus, this is going to be the cool part, watch this, prop info. Hey, give me the value off this object. Okay, I believe it just takes an object, and it takes an array of indices for indexers. We're just doing the basic properties here that aren't indexers. Go watch the indexers video if you're really interested in it. But this is essentially an argument I'm forced to pass, even though it has nothing to do with what I'm trying to get accomplished here. But that's kind of cool. I can say, hey property, here's an object. Go get the value for yourself off that object. Right, kind of cool. And then we need to do the end angle bracket thing. I'm going to actually put a /T in here for formatting. And oh, by the way, pluses are a terrible way to concatenate strings. I should be using string builder here, but that's not the focus of my video right now. Let's see, angle. We need to do the end prop plus prop info. Give me your name again, plus another thing like that, and I think we're good. So we've written out the type name. We're going to write all the properties one by one, and then I'll say writer dot, hey, write line again. Basically this thing, in fact, let's just take this line, Control C, Control V, but we need to add the whole end XML thing on there. So very basic method using reflection heavily to try to serialize my person type. Let's see if it actually works. I'm going to say me serializer. So now, down here, instead of saying new data contract serializer, I'm going to Control L, Control VV, and take that out. Instead of saying new data contract serializer, it's going to be me serializer. And let's see how good I do. I'm going to Control F5 this, and of course I get an error message because I forgot to flush. Alright, writer dot flush. Don't ever forget the flush. It's so inconsiderate if you don't. Alright, flush means, hey, I know you've buffered a lot of stuff in RAM, but you actually need to send it out to the stream, underlying stream. So that's what flush is. You could go watch the videos on File.io if you want to. Control 5. Look at that. Look at that. Now it's a little bit shorter, and I don't have all that WCF attribute stuff out here, but it worked, didn't it? Person, first name is Jamie, age is 25, person. Where's my last name? You remember we took that attribute off, but we could certainly add it back in. Control F5, and there you go. There's my last name. That's kind of neat. And using a little bit of a reflection, we're able to write a little utility here that would do some serialization for us. Easy. And again, as an exercise, I say, hey, why don't you see if you can get this? When I say wait here, why don't you see if you can get this to rename, or our code down here to rename this property to this string value out there? That'd be a very good exercise for you. Anyway, there you go.